Oh, look, there's at the ball. He's running. Oh, he's going to get through. Go Izzy Folau. He's running. He's running. Oh, they can't tackle him. Oh, that's a great hand up there. Oh, wonderful. Gave his teammate a try. Look at those powerful legs. What an absolute superstar this man is. Really, really good. Great to watch. Great entertainment. Just wonderful.
In case you didn't already know, the bloke running really fast in the video is Israel Folau, an Australian rugby star. He recently made headlines when asked what God's plan for gays was, and he replied, "Hell, unless they repent their sins and turn to God." As you'd expect, this started social justice World War Rainbow 6. Today, I want to discuss this issue and the wider implications for free speech and Australian society. I'll also be discussing the highly related issue of gay marriage, because you see, when gay marriage was passed in late 2017, there was much rejoicing. However, the Yes campaign promised protections for free speech, and laughed off suggestions that it was a slippery slope to other nonsense, including further attacks on Christianity, not to mention gender fluidity rubbish. The Izzy Folau fallout and other recent events indicates their denials were flat out lies.
For the national result, yes responses, 7,817,237, representing 61.6% of all responses.
I declare the question resolved in the affirmative. That's it.
When Australia voted, the Yes vote won, and the existing law changed to include same-sex couples. Tolerance and love had won the day, or something like that. Australia decided, and we were all supposed to move on. If only the left respected democratic votes so fervently when they lost. Unfortunately, it's now obvious the Yes campaign made 3 whopping lies. One was a flat-out lie about reality, and 2 are lies designed to placate genuine concerns. The first lie is that calling a gay union a marriage somehow means it's the same as traditional marriage. The second lie was that there would be no widespread ramifications for the change, and the last lie was that there would be free speech protections.
It sounds like you don't like gay people, Matty.
What? Tranny Madalena, that's stupid. Why would I hate gay people?
You don't want them to get married. That means you hate gay people.
You've been reading the ABC and SBS again, haven't you?
Yep, and The Guardian and Fairfax.
You know they're far left trash, right? Well, I don't dislike gay people, and you really shouldn't listen to that rubbish.
Then why do they always say if you're against gay marriage you hate gay people?
Good question. It's a classic ad hominem. You say you're against a certain political issue, they say you're against the people associated with it. For example, you're against immigration, so they say you don't like foreigners. Or you don't like a certain religion, so they say you don't like anyone that follows that religion. Another good one is when you say you're in favour of free speech, and they say you just want people to speak hate. It's quite insidious actually, but it ultimately means they don't have an argument, so all you need to do is call it out when it happens.
They do that all the time. I need to look into this.
I promise I'll get back to the Izzy Folau saga, but right now I want to discuss 2 of the lies mentioned. First, that people of the same sex can be married in the traditional sense, and second, that changing existing marriage laws have no widespread ramifications. Marriage has always been about strengthening family ties through alliances and securing the next generation. Yes, it's evolved slightly over the years, but the whole point of it is to join a man and a woman in order to have children. This doesn't mean if you are infertile the marriage should be annulled, although for a long time this was actually the case. In fact, it was the Christian church that ended this practice, despite the fact Christianity quite clearly states a marriage is between a man and a woman and is for the purpose of raising children. I know it seems a little contradictory, but it's not, because the vast majority of couples can have children. It's an exception proves the rule situation and protects individuals within the marriage from alienation due to infertility. But I digress. At its heart, traditional marriage is a trade of protection and resources for fertility and care of offspring. The whole point of marriage is for the creation, protection, and raising of biological children and the strengthening of the family. The whole point of marriage and family law is to mediate between competing interests within a biological family. Treating gay and hetero marriages the same under the law is essentially saying biological parents don't matter. One biological parent will always be locked out of a gay marriage. This is just a fact. Yes, love is love, but children are children, and parents are parents no matter what you say on paper. When you knock down the pillars of civilization, you really shouldn't be surprised if the whole thing collapses. But I digress. The court cases of the future really are going to be even more draining and sad than they already are. Thing is, if gay couples do want to adopt children of another couple in an unwanted pregnancy situation, it could offer great value to society. In fact, this is a great reason to keep gay union laws entirely separate from traditional marriage. What will happen when there are two people in a marriage and one biological parent outside of it? How will the law protect everyone's rights when things go pear-shaped? Will the marriage take precedence or the biological parents? If biological parents take precedence, why do we have state contracts for gay marriage? Why have marriage law at all? What's the point? Why not just keep all marriage contracts between individuals and have the state legislate protections for biological families separately? This could easily lead to polygamous marriage for obvious reasons, which is another thing opponents of gay marriage have predicted. It's all very complicated, you see. Those questions will have to be answered in one way or another eventually. I bring them up to highlight the mess we've created for ourselves and the lie it was based on. It's nowhere near as simple as mindless slogans like love is love, as the Yes campaign told us. It's a hell of a lot more complex than that, but the left wanted it, and when the left wants something, they will lie and smear and push and lie in order to get it. One of the biggest lies made by the Yes campaign was to dismiss warnings that gay marriage would lead to gender fluidity rubbish.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means the left are going to start teaching our kids that gender is fluid and not set at birth.
Oh yeah, that's a load of rubbish. What are chromosomes then? Morons.
Exactly. In case you are wondering, Trenny Madalena has Klinefelter syndrome. That means he's got 2 X chromosomes and 1 Y chromosome. He thinks gender fluidity is nonsense, but he respects the rights of people to live any lifestyle they like, so long as they don't infringe on the rights of others, of course, especially children. He's also a libertarian who just happens to read leftist rubbish. He's trans politics, you see, and transgender. At any rate, the left said gender fluidity wouldn't be an issue after gay marriage, which is why I was a little horrified, but not surprised at all to see this story. Babies could be born with non-specific genders included on birth certificates. The Queensland government is discussing a law to include intersex as gender. The opposition believes the proposed legislation has gone too far this time. Gone too far would be an understatement. It's off the wall and a genuine risk to kids if they are unfortunate enough to have leftist virtue-singling parents. A paper commissioned by Attorney General Yvette Darth outlined the changes that could allow individuals to self-identify their sex or gender when registering a life event. There are many people in the LGBTIPQSP2S1+ community who feel current laws don't adequately reflect or capture the true fabric of all Queensland families, Ms. Darth told the Courier Mail. So the government basically want to let people claim to be whatever gender they like on their birth certificate. Incidentally, this is how things work in oh-so-progressive Canada, where you can literally say you're a different gender and the state will recognise your feelings as though they are facts. The argument that gay marriage wasn't going to lead to a big push for this was obvious rubbish, especially considering we already had radical far-left gender propaganda through the infamous Safe Schools program. Oh, and the far-left trans activists were already calling for this kind of thing on birth certificates well before the plebiscite. Gay marriage was always going to be used as a springboard to push radical leftist gender politics, and the Yes campaign knew it. They lied, and Australia voted on that lie. I'd argue this makes the vote illegitimate, but I actually value the truth and democracy.
How is all this connected to Israel Folau, Matty? I thought that's what this video was about.
Great question, Short Bus. This video is actually about free speech and the encroachment of leftist totalitarianism through speech controls and bullying. It's all connected.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Just to remind everyone, Israel made his comments because someone specifically asked for his opinion. It's not like he walked up to a gay dude and said,
Hey bro, ew, gross dude, you know you're like totally going to hell because you're gay, man.
Someone asked the question and he answered according to his religious beliefs. The ridiculous blow-up shows exactly how the left react when confronted with a worldview they don't like. There was hate, more hate, lots and lots of hate, then rainbows. Lots and lots and lots of rainbows. I'm not sure why gay people get to take the entire rainbow. It must be offensive to leprechauns, but at least the rainbows aren't this. Not that we didn't already know exactly how the left react to differing opinions.
Your logic. A homosexual voting no makes him a homophobe. Wow.
Leftist bigotry is one thing. The reaction from sponsors is a whole other story. Qantas is considering pulling sponsorship of the Wallabies if further homophobic statements are made by Israel Folau or other players. While Qantas would not comment on its conversation with Rugby Australia, other than to say it was disappointed with Folau's post, it is understood that executives have made it known they will not tolerate more controversial statements regarding homosexuality. While I agree, Qantas have the right to spend their money wherever they like, it's regrettable they would enter the realm of politics so frequently and always on the left. They did campaign hard on gay marriage after all. Freedom of speech is a culture as much as it is a right. When businesses threaten to remove sponsorships of entire codes due to opinions of one player, they cross a big line of civil discourse. Nobody cares what Qantas's opinion on political issues is, and nobody has the right to dictate it other than shareholders. I wonder if Qantas consulted its shareholders before they made this announcement. It's a double-edged sword as well. Does this mean if Qantas don't pull sponsorships from certain opinions, they fully support them? I wonder what he thinks of Dubai's treatment of gays. I mean, Qantas and Emirates are partners after all. I guess gay rides don't mean much when you can't virtue signal or you're making a ton of cash. Incidentally, if Folau was a member of the religion that shall not be named, do you think the reaction would have been the same? I really wonder. Qantas are a private company who, unlike social media public commons, should have the right to set whatever political policies they like. It's just probably not a good idea as they risk alienating customers and looking like stinking hypocrites. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. The good news in all this is Israel didn't back down. He did exactly what everyone should do when confronted with an outrage mob. Israel Folau stands by gays go to hell comment and says he's ready to walk away from rugby. My faith is more important than my career. Folau said he could never shy away from being who I am or what I believe, and speculation he was looking for a way out of his ARU contract to take up big offers elsewhere was false. There have been things written about me angling to get a release from my Rugby Australia deal to pursue an NRL contract. That simply isn't true, he said. There have been rugby offers from the UK, Europe and Japan that are way above anything I could earn in Australia. This is not about money or bargaining power or contracts. It's about what I believe and never compromising that, because my faith is far more important to me than my career and always will be. Whack. Take that, PC leftist brigade. What are you going to do now? He refused to apologise, then doubled down by saying he'd walk away or play in other countries if Australia wasn't accepting of his faith. That's how you respond to leftist bullying. Incidentally, it's exactly what Jesus did that ultimately led into his own crucifixion. Funny that. The truth is, if Israel was a member of the religion that shall not be named, nobody would bat an eyelid. In fact, there would be a concerted effort to suppress what he said or dismiss any criticism as bigotry. The attack on Folau is an attack on Christianity. That is a fact. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you are Christian, Buddhist, Hindu or agnostic, you simply must respect his right to speak his mind. That means if you are a corporate sponsor, you really should shut up and focus on keeping the planes on time and comfortable. Also consider hiring hotter flight attendants. Emirates do it, just saying. During the plebiscite debate, Malcolm Turnbull and other Yes campaigners assured us free speech would be protected, but they swiftly abandoned that promise when the vote came back yes. When you say something before a vote, but do the exact opposite after, that's lying and really should be fraud. For now, I'll leave you with the questions. Why do we have marriage law at all? What's the point of having contractual terms dictated by the state when it comes to marriage? If a marriage contract can be between two adult individuals, what makes it different from any normal contract? Yeah, I understand you can get some arbitrary benefits handed out by the state in some cases, but why do we need marriage law for this? Why can't people obtain those benefits through private contracts? Why does the state get to dictate the terms? As far as I see it, marriage law in Australia is now essentially obsolete. It serves no benefit and protects nobody. The opposite, in fact. Before, you could argue it was for the protection of children and their biological parents, but that benefit is gone now. Why the hell are same-sex marriages treated the same as heterosexual marriages? It makes absolutely no sense at all.
But me, didn't you know? Love is love. Why do you hate gay people so much?
Short bus! Hi everyone, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you weren't too triggered by some of the controversial opinions and facts that I presented. If I could ask just as a really small favour if you could share this video around. YouTube are really unlikely to recommend it to anyone in their feed, so if you share it around that'd be really helping me out. Also, could you leave a like and a comment and all that kind of stuff? Follow me on all my other social media as well. If you like my content, that is. If you don't have to do anything, obviously. And I'll see you when I see ya.